I have lived most of my life with cancers and epilepsy. My first cancer was diagnosed shortly after my 11th birthday. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and more recently this past January with an aggressive breast cancer. Cancer has allowed me to endure the consequences of true suffering. Jesus grants me the peace to persevere in these trials. I have not always chosen to trust in Him in all circumstances, even as a believer, but now I can look back and see God's provision throughout my life. The brain cancer, it was different. I didn't have the support, and it's not because the church didn't offer it, it's just because I didn't ask for it. I didn't even think that I needed it. I really thought that I could do this on my own. I shortly learned that I couldn't. Even with all the wonderful support that I got from Rick, I still needed something else, and I knew that something was missing. And I prayed about it. I prayed for God to send godly women to me, and those women made a huge difference. There was one time, just recently, when a big chunk of my hair fell out of the back of my head. It was exit from the radiation. And I didn't know that I was going to be losing hair in that area. And I reached back there and felt a whole handful of hair, and it just came out, and Trevor was sitting next to me. And he said the sweetest thing. He looked at me and he said, "Mom, if I could transplant all my hair on your head, I would." And it was a real sweet, touching moment, because I knew that Trevor was starting to see, things actually happen to me. I think Hanman is very useful in the resources that it provides, the support that it offers, and the prayer, certainly the prayer. That what I was touched most by all the people who came up to me and said, "You're who I've been praying for." That was pretty cool. And that didn't just happen once. That happened, it was routinely happening. It was happening a lot at church. The women actually, they all gathered around me on a couple occasions and put their hands on me and just prayed over me each time. And that was very moving for all of us. God provided the support because I asked Him for it. I may not know the reasons for my cancers, but I do know that God must approve anything that comes my way. I know that through healing comes the beauty of God's glory. It excites me to think that God chose me to be healed and for His glory to be seen. These painful experiences are shaping me into the woman God has designed me to be. To reach this potential, I must obey God and fully rely on Him. I trust in Him, whatever God's will is for me. I choose not just to accept it, but to thank Him in all circumstances.